welcome to our very special solar eclipse in Scorpio psychic tarot reading as we open up the energies of this Scorpio eclipse, in part because I did try to reach for your download and I am just too toasty, psychically toasty. It's like you get like a set amount of like psychic juice that you get to use, and then when you're tired, just like anything else, it's sort of just like static on the wire. Anyway, so we're going to lean heavily on psychometry, which is when you basically channel your answers through your physical body, if you're using your body as a pendulum, or if you are using an actual pendulum, if you are using a Ouija board. I mean, there's like, you can basically, you know, this is the thing why I say energy work and not specific. I don't believe in organized religion, but you can take literally lint out of your pocket and use chalk, drawing some little shapes on the ground, and cast your lint onto these shapes and derive meaning and devise your own universal language with cosmos to communicate with your higher self and get messages and downloads in any way, shape, or form that you're guided to. That's why you can, it's your psychics that read crushed pop cans, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, psychometry is what we're leaning very heavily on for today. I am recording this on the moon in Scorpio partial solar eclipse happening Tuesday, October the 25th. Make sure that you have liked this video, that you are subscribed to the channel, that you have toggled the notification bell so that you don't miss any of these really wonderful messages. And feel free to comment below if you don't know what to comment. Drop me a bat emoji, a ghosty emoji, a pumpkin emoji, some kind of Halloween emoji. Surprise me. Okay, let's go ahead, cut your deck into 4. Thank you very much. I do want to say it has already been a very, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Scorpio eclipse to infuse it more with our energy, even though we already cut the deck, so I'm pretty much done. But it's already been a very scorpionic solar eclipse. I feel amazing. I feel really great. I hope you guys are feeling really great. I think I actually had more of an issue with the moon in Libra before this, squaring all of my Capricorn stellium. You know, I was like, you know, so I'm feeling personally better now. Now, you guys could have been feeling, eclipses actually can be, I think it's up to like 30 days before and after. So a lot of times things don't actually hit on the day of the eclipse. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So, you know, this entire week essentially, but basically between now and November the 8th, I believe, in the next eclipse, there should be agents of chaos ensuing. Speaking of which, how are you guys doing, you little agents of chaos, as you little eclipse born babies? Okay, so back to the solar eclipse in Scorpio. However, I do want to mention something, and it's a little bit spooky, but it makes a lot of sense. So there's this huge popularity with Jeffrey Dahmer right now. I'm going to take this because it kind of did this little funny thing. It is the 9 of Wands. I remember being very heavily obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer way before Netflix did anything about his story or anything. And because it's Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin, right? And this was like in the early aughts. And very, very different. He was more obscure at that point. And I really connected with him. I really connected with Jeffrey. I should have called it out. I wanted to call it out before the 9 of Wands, but I was talking and I didn't. When I was talking again and I forgot and I didn't. So anyway, you can believe me if you take my word for that. The Star. Really connected with Jeffrey because he, especially like with his first murder, he had an out-of-body experience, and he talks about that in the interviews. He later gave interviews about it and about his experience. And you know, when you grow up psychic, you just don't know what to make of what you're going through. You just psychologically, it's like a very difficult thing to reconcile. So I would have a lot of I would spontaneously astral travel. I would spontaneously remote view. I would think that I was actually flying, And because people could see me. I remember one of the times when I spontaneously astral traveled, I was playing with children outside, and the adults were inside, and we were outside. And when I popped out of my body, and I thought I was flying. I thought I physically lifted off the ground. All the children, they went like that, and they all looked up at me, and they could see me, and I could see that they could see me. And I remember feeling so embarrassed because everyone stopped playing to just like look up at me. I just like felt really, really embarrassed, and I just like shrank. But you know, that was something that I did not hear anyone talk about. And Jeffrey Dahmer did talk about it. He talked about how he was watching himself commit murder. I don't know if he was an alcoholic, Five of Swords. I don't know if he was an alcoholic. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but he definitely drank and got drunk and blacked out and all this stuff. You know, in those earlier days when he was sort of getting into his groove. And that's another reason why it's like, I definitely don't like encourage or advocate using alcohol or using hardcore drugs to do any spiritual work at all. You know, the most I'll say is like, you know, smoke some pot after you meditate, like after you've already done your thing, you know, after you've already, because otherwise pot's just kind of like a shortcut, which is fine too. Like if you're gonna watch a movie, have your pot, whatever. But as far as like using drugs to do spiritual, no, that's a cop out. It's my professional opinion. So, you know, to hear someone talking about it was really meaningful to me, and it really empathized. I was really able to feel for this poor man who was basically getting pushed out of his body. And the alcohol, you guys, maybe not, but on my TikTok, I have the metaphysical effects of alcohol. What's on my face? The metaphysical effects of alcohol and like other drugs or something like that. So, you know, it burns out your etheric web. You basically have, we're not going to get into the quantum mechanics of it, but you have your aura, you have your etheric web, you have all of those words have their corresponding words in quantum physics. Okay, so I need to put out like just like a, you know, like one of those just free PDF, just like the key, you know, the key of how it just like the nuts and bolts of how it works. Anyway, let's do one more little thank you. Ace of Swords, bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Seven of Swords for your, this is a very solar eclipse in Scorpio reading already with all of these swords. Seven of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and Two of Swords. I like this energy though. I like it intense. I like it super. I was talking about suicide today, talking about suicide and serial killers and murderers and history and you know, all of the things, all of the good stuff, all of the scorpionic, you know, it's just the superficial, the topical stuff just doesn't cut it, doesn't do it for anybody, right? So, I mean, not at least in Scorpio season when we have the eclipses in Scorpio. This is the first like legit super solar eclipse since, I mean, I think, no, the one in November 2021 still had the nodes in Gemini, Sag. So this is like the first one for real, for real. So it's pretty important. It's a big deal. So overall, all of these swords, and they're not the good swords, they're the bad swords. They're the difficult ones. So overall, there is some mental gymnastics happening. There's some kind of, now, here's the thing about the Seven of Swords is that the Seven of Swords could be very clever, very much where they are able to skip ahead of the line. They're able to take a shortcut. They have street smarts. They're not book smart, they're street smart. They have street credibility. And, you know, that could be someone's deviousness, and I'm feeling probably so because of the Five of Swords being here. Now, what's interesting is it really does feel like there's some kind of battle between good and evil, because I feel like this is like the side of the good, and then like everything else is the side of evil here, and then you have the sword of truth coming down that can only be on one side. So overall, there's definitely some toxicity, and it may reach people's lips, it may come out in words, but it may not. It may stew inside of people. It really depends on like who this is and what it is. It looks really internal though. Honestly, it looks very like, and honestly, this does not have to be you or someone like you're very close to. It could just be someone like part of the situation somehow. Maybe we're going to clarify that. Let's take a look at the Nine of Wands. This is the Wounded Warrior. Tell us about that. Thank you. Four of Pentacles. This is your solar eclipse in Scorpio reading. So it looks like throughout this time, I am not the timing psychic. Throughout this time, there's going to be some, you know, best case scenarios. This is, you know, writing and words and characters, and, you know, you're doing a thesis on an historical figure or something, you know, and you're getting into, you know, but no, this is very much more likely than that, because I don't have a lot of writers watching me. I love you guys. I love you guys. This is probably more than likely someone who knows that they cannot go on as before. The Two of Swords, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They know they cannot maybe even talk how they used to talk. Maybe they are used to talking a certain way for their entire life, and they are really realizing that they cannot continue, that they have to change how they communicate, that they have to change how they relate to people, or I don't know, whatever. But they don't know how, or they're uncomfortable with it, or they don't have anywhere to go with it, or they don't, you know, there's something sort of strange there. So we're going to open it up. Let's take a look at this Four of Pentacles first. Pleasure, the magic of the fan. Pleasure is like hot coals. It does not flame, yet it burns. That's very Scorpionic energy. Like a Mars in Scorpio is a slow burn. Mars in Aries is the explosion. So this is a slow burn. I like this because this means that you're not going to let your guard down. You know, you're not going to lower your boundary just for like willy-nilly purposes. I really like this. This looks like you're very strong, secure, you're holding it down. You're very, what's interesting is that she's like sleeping and she's reclined, and he's like, you know, he's getting all up into it. But she's comfortable, you know? So it's like, it feels very much like you've got great boundaries, great protection all around you, and everything that you keep inside, whether that's your family, whether that's your pets, or whether it's your plants, or whatever it happens to be, that everybody is really safe. Everyone is feeling very safe and secure. And it's because you know better, or whoever this is knows better to really, really, you know, like really make sure, really vouch, or, you know, when this is someone that's been hurt before, like the little bandage on his head is so cute. But, you know, this is like, no, I can't be giving people 2, 3, 4, 10 chances. No. Can't even say. Then it's on me, you know. You hurt me once, okay, I forgive you. You hurt me again. That's discretion, you know. But really, after that second time, that's your character. This is not like a mistake, you know. So I like this. You're not letting anyone, you know, just have all this access to you or something. Okay, let's take a look at the star energy, which is what Scorpio is. Scorpio rules bonds, really deep, you know, trustworthy, protective, and protecting bonds that you feel safe in, that nurture you and support you or inspire you, whatever. And the boundaries, the bonds and the boundaries between you and that which is not good for you, and that's like toxic, you know. All right, let's take a look at the star. It's making me work. I'm just kidding. We have the World. We have the, oh, this is the Page of Swords, is one where he's looking at her booty. And then we have the Six of Chalices. That's a sad one. And this one, oh, that's sad. What's going on here? Well, the World and the stars, always beautiful. So no matter what else happens, everything is okay. Gratification, magic, intimacy. Touch ensures continuity, a gratifying and complete relationship, peace and lasting happiness, a serene family. I liked hitting that, the I in family. Full circle here, huh? Full circle. This, I know what this is. It's not about, you don't have to trust someone else to not hurt you. You don't have to give all of your power away to your spouse. I trust you. You're never going to hurt me. I love you. You love me. You would never do anything to hurt me. You don't have to do that. You trust yourself to protect yourself. If someone else has a lapse in their judgment, if someone else has a weakness that comes out, if someone else falls from grace, if whatever happens, that you trust yourself, what class? To put up and maintain the boundary. You push him back another few yards. Some people have to live over on the other side of that, and you know, they don't get it. Not everyone. You're always grooming people in your life how to treat you. You're always teaching people how to treat you. And when you have people that are always pushing the line, pushing the boundary, they're waiting for you to fold so they can treat you however they want to treat you, because they're trying to teach you how you should be treated. They're trying to teach you how they want to treat you. So you don't have to trust new people. You don't have to always trust the old people in your life or the people that have always been in your life. You just have to trust yourself that when the unthinkable happens to the one person you trust more than anyone else, and they turn into, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, or when, you know, a new person comes in and you thought it was all wonderful and amazing, and then they, I don't know, they just like tweak out or something, whatever it happens to be, because it's not, there is no, this world energy is like, there is no like secret code to trust in another person. You only know someone as deeply as you know yourself. You can only trust someone as deeply as you trust yourself. So when someone hurts you, you don't put all the power into the other person. You're the victim. Now it's like, I'm your victim, you're the perpetrator, you hurt me. Okay? You just have to trust yourself to have the discernment to see, like, okay, this person is a drug addict, they're an alcoholic, they're a violent abuser, they have a personality disorder, whatever it happens to be. Whatever it happens to be. But you hold the power when you say, okay, I'm going to make the decision. You go all the way over there, I'm going to go all the way over here. And you're not crossing this boundary to get to me. You trust yourself. That's all you need to do is trust yourself. And that's your subliminal self, that inner child, that little 5-year-old version of you. I've had hierophants and I've had high priestesses that won't do it. And I tell them, get that picture of you that you're 5 years old and put it, you know, and tape it to your bathroom mirror, or, you know, beside your bed, somewhere where you see it every single day. That's your subliminal self. It's you. That's who you as an adult have to protect. Okay? But once you have that relationship with yourself and you trust yourself, life feels amazing. I'm feeling really great on this partial solar eclipse in Scorpio. Very empowered. Very wonderful. Very wonderful. Hope you guys are also doing okay. So when you really do trust yourself to protect yourself, your home, your family, your animals, your pets, your plants, whatever happens to be, it frees you in a sense. It frees you from being codependent, to be honest, because then you're not giving all your power away to somebody else to make you happy when they come home from work every day, or when you come home from work every day, whatever it happens to be. There's a lot. There's a whole lot. Someone here on this eclipse energy is having some kind of like, someone's feeling amazing, and then somebody else is going to be feeling really trapped in their mental prison of misery. Take a look at the Knave of Swords. This would be the Page of Swords. Biting. The magic of the bitter almonds. Enemies of the couple are both inside and outside of it. They should look at each other. Vigilance does not distract from pleasure, and pleasure does not distract from vigilance. That's funny. Because this is the one where they're like, they need to look at each other because he's looking at her butt, you know? So, you know, this is like sort of this overcoming of, I don't know if it's like shyness or they're just not looking at each other, put it that way. They're just not looking at each other. And there could be trust issues here, like for sure. There could be some trust issues. But that could also be like an internal personal thing where, you know, maybe it depends on the boundaries you have with yourself. If you have good boundaries with yourself and you can trust yourself to take care of yourself and you know what I'm saying? That's hard. It's learning that takes a lot of pain, you know, it really does. But all right, let's take the Six of Cups. That is also here. Memory, the magic of the parchment. A portrait reminds us of those who were only distant memories. It may revive desire for an ex and destroy blocks of the past. Well, that's pretty clear. That was pretty clear. That was pretty direct for those of you where that resonates. So there does seem to be overcoming some baggage, though. So whether or not the ex thing resonates for you and with you, there is something about baggage, to overcome the baggage, and that could be why two people are not facing each other, or it's just like this is funny. I'm so immature. So, you know, that comes like full circle. This comes to be very, you know, and you know, we're going to have Jupiter and Pisces trining all of this watery energy. So if you have any placements in water signs, it's going to be really great. Maybe it's activating a grand water trine. Who knows? But, you know, it looks good. Let's move on. Let's take a look at the Five of Swords. This looks like some kind of enemy or, you know, somebody here. And it's another sword card. It is the Six of Swords. So a better card. It's a better card than the Five of Swords. It really is. Rolling about. The magic of searching for new horizons involves a couple as it involves a single person. Outside of your daily routine lies the rest of the world. You know what's interesting? I'm not really getting that there's an enemy. I thought this was totally like an enemy. But now that we have the clarifier here, it's almost like it was, it's like a shadow enemy. I don't mean like a shadow person. That's a whole different thing. I mean like, it's like thinking that someone wants your job, you know, you're like, oh my God, this person, they want my job. They're here to take my job. And then you realize that they're just trying to help you. They just want you to look even better in your job. They want to support you in your job. They want you to get all the great credit for all that you do in your job. But maybe in the beginning, like when I was like, oh, this is some villain person, right? You're like, oh my God, they're a villain. They're trying to take my job, you know? And it's like, no, you know? So there's something, but this is again, I'm like routine. There's someone's routinely projecting, you know, like they're used to always thinking that people want their job kind of a thing, you know. So all right, so it looks like you may be moving on from that, or someone in this situation may be moving on from that, thinking like everybody's like trying to take my job. It's just an example. So look at the Ace of Swords. This is the victory. This is the win. Okay. Tell me about the Ace of Swords. What message am I? This looks pretty solid, honestly, except for, you know, that. But other than that, it looks pretty like a very solid solar eclipse. Got one popper, and it's the Hermit. Look at him. He looks so sad. He looks so sad. Sad little dude. There's a lonely little candle too. Well, let's see what the bookie book has to say about this. Refusal. Sorry. Retention of the seed. Slowing down your pace allows the magic to germinate. When the psychic force is restrained, its power is doubled. You guys. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited for the psychokinesis. I am. Guys, I can't talk about it, but I'm so excited for it. I don't know if it'll be up by the time you see this, probably not, but I'm gonna put up a TikTok about my new psychokinesis setup. So excited for it. I already told you about it. It's in the diorama, but I'm just over the moon. Over the moon about it. So very happy with the psychokinesis stuff. And when the psychic force is restrained, its power is doubled. So, you know, with the Ace of Swords, now for some of you, this could be some kind of like university professor helping, or a therapist or some counselor type person helping you break through some crusty mental crummies in your mind and stuff like that. But it could also be someone that like some kind of educator or something. You know, the hermit doesn't always have to be like a spiritual type of a mentor. It could also be some kind of you know, educator type professional. What did it say before that? Hold on, I only memorized that one last part. When the psychic force is restrained, its power is doubled. Second. Slowing down your pace. That's why I skipped over it, because I'm a Mars and Aries and I never slow down my pace. Slowing down your pace allows the magic to germinate. That's what it said. Ooh, so something's been growing in the dark, has it? So the Hermit and the Star. For me as a reader, these guys come out together a lot. And it's because the Star is in the Hermit's lantern. So it's the quote in all of my videos, the Manly P. Hall quote. About seeking the light when the light is in the heart of the darkness. So there is some very dark little corners of someone's mind, that's for sure. And this looks like the light gets to it. The light goes on. Remember what I've said before, this is not a good example, this particular... Who said that about my apartment looking like the inside of a spaceship? I love that. I want to do that. I'm gonna redecorate this whole, all of this like the inside of a spaceship. How cool. How perfect. Oh my god. You have no, I think it was Vri. I think it was Vri that said that. Thank you so much. I love it. Love it. Brava. Very wonderful. Absolutely. Over time, this is going to look like the inside of a fucking spaceship. Like, I can't. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. What was I? Oh, so this is not a good example, but if you have the room with the light on and you open the door to the other room, light goes and illuminates the other room, but there's no less light in that first room. It doesn't take any of the light from this room to illuminate the next room. Okay? Some baggage here. Take your time. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't let anyone rush you. Take your time. You take your time with all this. Because then it's really real. Like when you do get to all of this, like you feel it. It's like you feel it so honest and true, and you just feel relaxed. Like you, you know, you're like, ah, it's okay. Like I can just chill. I can just chill. It does a lot to reduce stress. Guidance. What's the guidance? We have the hawk. Pay attention. A powerful message is being communicated to you now. And the white owl, the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. The wisdom and messages. So this is, again, getting your own peace, getting your own downloads, and feeling your own way forward. Now listen, just like when I was a little itty bitty little psychic girly and not having any frame of, it's crazy making, like you feel fucking crazy. So, you know, you're not alone, you're not crazy. If you want help, there's a lot out there. There's just going to be some kind of I feel like you can turn the Seven of Swords into a shortcut. You know, it might be part of your fear, that you fear that, you know, I don't know, someone's a liar, someone's going to take advantage of you, someone's going to steal from you, someone's going to mislead you, you know. So there, that could definitely be part of it. And of course, there's a lot of that out there in the world of what people are manifesting out there. But it goes back to, God, both the eyes being covered. I don't like that at all. I don't like those blindfolds on these people. It goes back to you trusting yourself with your boundaries, not putting your happiness into anybody else's hands, you know, not putting your safety into anybody else's hands, and being totally sovereign, 100% self-responsible. You know, it's no one else's responsibility for you to feel loved or safe or cherished or important or accomplished or successful or meaningful or anything, you know. So you chew on that for a little bit, because when you don't look for that in other people, there's no other where to look except universe, your higher self, spirit guides, angels, all of that. There's nowhere else to go. So, you know, that's why a lot of people just waste like years of their youth and life. And not like it's a waste. I'm not judging that it's a waste, but I'm just saying like that's why a lot of us spend a lot of time in shenanigans, ridiculousness. So if I can save you guys any of your time, being the Saturn ruled person that I am, you know, you can do it. The messages, excuse me, the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. You already have it. You can already do it. You are already all it. So it's just really the Bruce Lee stuff, hacking away at the inessentials. And in this case, it's some kind of mental baggage, but that's it. It's just mental baggage, and that's it. There's a lot of other great stuff happening over here to you, somebody else. So looks like it's going to be a great solar eclipse in Scorpio. There could definitely be some great news from, with, about a mentor, or they can be spiritual, but they can also just be someone that's like not really like in the public, or not really visible, or not really, you know what I'm saying, like a power behind the power, or like you might have like secret support kind of a thing with this that can come through for you. So looks exciting. Let us know how it goes. Take very good care of yourselves. I will check in on you guys next time. Until then, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful head stylings. Mwah.